Welcome to Airborne Flight Training. Coming up on this week's episode, GA hits the brakes on purpose. Seminole State and Epic enter credit transfer agreement. WestJet Airlines halts plans to use temporary foreign worker program. And I'm your host, Holland Lee. Welcome to Airborne Flight Training, a weekly program dedicated to future aviators and aviation professionals. Airborne Flight Training is brought to you in part by King Schools. King Schools has been leading the effort in producing expert aviation training programs and computer-based learning software for over 50 years. Find out why pilots love King teaching at kingschools.com. Now let's get into today's stories. GA hits the brakes on purpose. In response to two recent GA accidents that made national headlines, more than 5,000 pilots have joined the National Pause for General Aviation Safety. This is a 6-month campaign launched in April 2025 by the Air Safety Institute. The initiative, backed by the FAA and 22 other aviation organizations, urges GA pilots to slow down, refocus, and maybe stop flying into trouble. According to analysis of NTSB data, general aviation accidents are down 21% compared to this time last year. Fatalities are down 16%. While the long-term trend shows a steady, decades-long decline in GA accident rates, the industry isn't calling it mission accomplished just yet. The national pause is less of a dramatic standstill and more of a structured, highly recommended timeout. Pilots can log on to gasafe.org and pick from a curated collection of training videos, safety courses, articles, and resources. The campaign is designed for all corners of GA, from helicopter pilots and flight schools to flying clubs and charter operators. The program's partners want pilots to take 10 to 30 minutes, or more if you're the overachieving type, to refocus on safety habits relevant to their flying. The content is optimized for solo study or group sessions, for EAA chapters, fast team seminars, or flight school gatherings. After the break, Cal Poly Aviation Club hosting Airport Day.
For over 30 years, the massive Sport Plane Resource Guide has provided expert, credible information, evaluations, and critical analysis of all that the sport aviation world has to offer. The all-new digital Sport Plane Resource Guide is coming with extensive multimedia features that are constantly updated, an even more comprehensive online guide to all things sport aviation. Available soon. www.sportplane.com.
Direct Fly USA proudly introduces the new Alto NG, a single-engine, two-seat light sport aircraft for the North American market. This simple, all-metal aircraft design provides low-maintenance cost, easy, comfortable access, and responsive flight controls. Equipped with the Rotax 912 engine and a ballistic parachute, the Alto NG is reliable and safe. Learn more about the Alto NG at directflyusa.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Cal Poly Aviation Club hosting Airport Day. The Cal Poly Humboldt Student-Run Aviation Club is the foundation of the school's efforts to spark and support the interest of young students to come into the aviation industry. One of the ways it introduces students to aviation is through its state-of-the-art GTX Max Cessna Advanced Aviation Training Device, or AATD, situated in the library of the campus. The AATD features a fully functional cockpit, wraparound screens, and motion that imitates the feel of flying a real aircraft, like the Cessna 172 or 182. Sun Country gets financing for continued operations. Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group closed a deal for $75 million in credit to Sun Country Airlines, keeping operations going with liquidity for general corporate purposes. The deal may be secured by some of Sun Country's assets. The news was met with relief at Sun Country, according to former CEO Dave Davis. Mitsubishi UFJ acted as the sole structuring agent and a joint lead arranger on the recent deal, taking on a $37.5 million commitment. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation tagged in as the other joint lead arranger, providing another $37.5 million commitment. Henderson State establishes Arkansas Aviation Academy. Henderson State University in Arkadelphia, Arkansas announced the renaming of its aviation flight training program to the Arkansas Aviation Academy, and it is intended to prepare pilots who are not enrolled as Henderson students, but are seeking credentials to become commercial pilots. The Academy was approved by the FAA and expands on the university's longtime professional pilot bachelor's degree program, the only program of its kind in the state. The program added 3 additional new courses, a multi-engine add-on course, a tailwheel course, and a CFI spin training course. Teamsters Local 2118 requests release from mediation. Allegiant Air pilots are disgruntled with the plodding pace of negotiations and have now asked for release from mediation and a possible prelude to a strike. Back in November, Allegiant pilots voted to authorize a strike to the tune of 97%, highlighting their displeasure with the multi-year negotiation process. Central to the debate is the carrier's proposal to allow 20% of its pilot base to act as surplus, while they push the other 80% to fly a full schedule. Allegiant pilots aren't happy about that by any means. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Seminole State and Epic enter credit transfer agreement. Epic Flight Academy and Seminole State College of Florida have signed an agreement that enables pilots trained at Epic to transfer certifications as college credit hours toward a degree at SSC. A maximum number of 27 credits can be applied toward an associate degree. An associate degree at Seminole State College requires 60 credit hours, so a pilot who goes from private to CFI at Epic can get credit for nearly half that total. The breakdown for each certificate is 6 credit hours for private pilot, instrument rating, or commercial single engine, 4 credit hours for commercial multi-engine or certified flight instructor, and 5 credit hours for certified flight instructor. Danny Perna, founder and CEO of Epic Flight Academy, said, quote, "We are excited to announce this agreement with Seminole State College. This provides a pathway for our flight students to turn their FAA-issued flying credentials into college credit toward a degree in more than 200 program options," end quote. Epic Flight Academy currently operates 10 campuses offering FAA-certified instruction for all basic pilot training levels, as well as for aviation maintenance technicians. Seminole State College runs 6 campuses offering a variety of associate degrees in science and arts, as well as bachelor degrees. After these messages, WestJet Airlines halts plans to use temporary foreign worker program.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/Rusty today for details.
Welcome back. WestJet Airlines halts plans to use temporary foreign worker program. ALPA Canada, who have worked alongside the pilot leadership of WestJet and WestJet Encore to hinder WestJet management's efforts to hire pilots through the temporary foreign worker program, are boasting that WestJet management will no longer pursue the hiring of any pilots through the TFW program. Captain Tim Perry, ALPA Canada president, said, quote, "Despite this development, we strongly encourage WestJet management to work with ALPA pilot representatives to find more practical solutions for attracting and retaining skilled professional pilots that do not involve utilizing a federal program, which was never intended for this purpose. As the voice of over 95% of Canada's professional unionized pilots, we know this issue goes beyond WestJet Encore. It impacts us all," end quote. While ALPA Canada's interactions with WestJet management led to changing their direction on pilot recruitment, ALPA Canada's work and unity must continue. Upon the conclusion of the federal election on April 28th and the appointment of the new federal cabinet, we will seek a commitment from the government to review the TFWP. We must achieve the goal of reforming the labor market impact assessment process so that its use is limited to its original intent, as well as recognize and place importance on consulting with any unions that represent impacted employees," end quote. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.